Alright, welcome to this episode of my playthrough of Portal. Now, things have gotten very less polished than they were when we first started. We've kind of gotten a glimpse at the seedy underbelly, so to speak, of Aperture Science, and we definitely have been, the voice who we've heard, GLaDOS, has definitely tried to kill us at least once or twice. As we continue through the bowels, the underbelly of Aperture Science, let's see what we find, all right? So, this room here was actually very interesting because each of these little doors in the wall, which we can't really necessarily see, all of them. I guess there's none over on that wall. But all of these little doors, there's another one over there, had a turret inside of it, which of course, tries to kill us. So, as we look up, we see this is actually quite a large facility. Really, really, really big. And I don't see a way immediately, anyway, to get up there. So, since we managed to do kind of a tricky double jump loop thing, you can see the some of the turrets laying on their side there. Since we did manage to do a tricky double jump thing to get up here, let's see where this goes, alright?
Who's there activated by you, Stargate Lost? Goodbye, never die.
Well, that's tricky.
But you can lose. I don't blame you.
So what we did is we just kind of dropped a portal underneath that one turret. Now, here's where we can actually kind of see an interesting thing that portals can do. Okay, I didn't quite do it as precisely as maybe I should have, but that's what I was kind of trying to show you. Since, the momentum is not affected between portals, that's what happens. Alright, so a couple turrets kind of got dropped here by GLaDOS. What do we do now? Well, first of all, I want to see if there's a way up there. I don't see any kind of portal surface up there. You know what that means, though, right? I don't want that thing interfering, so we got the portal underneath there. Let's do a swan dive. Like so. You see what we did there, right? Where are we now? There's a portal place over there. Ah, yes, of course. So, we were down there. We did manage to get up here somehow. Interesting. Now I'm just going to try and kind of check the walls, see if there's anywhere to shoot a portal. I don't see one. So I guess we'll just continue to go straight across. And be thankful that that catwalk didn't fall out from under us, because this is Aperture Science we're talking about. There's that presentation again. Genetic Life Form and Disk Operating System case study. And it's the comparison between Aperture Science and Black Mesa, and specifically their competition with Black Mesa. So this is, oops, sorry, a little misstep there. So we can see, obviously, it's a massive facility. We don't really know where it is. And we can see an emancipation grill over there in this big, giant box thing stored in the middle. You can't see the top of it, but we can see these railings and these tubes and everything surrounding it. Caution, wear your respirator. Admittance to authorized personnel only. Now, why would you need a respirator? Out of everything that we've seen, why would you need a respirator? What do you think? That's an ominous sound. So there's the little viewing chamber that we were in. And we're kind of crossing the bridge over to that big box thing. Now, I am going to kind of give a little bit of a lead into this. What we're doing is we are going to the central chamber of GLaDOS. Behind that emancipation grill, you will find GLaDOS, the genetic life form and disk operating system, which has been running the Aperture Science facility while we've been in it, and has been the voice talking to us. Now, as you might have figured, this is the final boss of the game, so I'm kind of going to use this build-in. I'm going to make some comments while I'm encountering GLaDOS. I'll put it that way. But this is going to be kind of my last commentary until after the credits. Once we encounter GLaDOS, we will see the credits, which are underscored by the famous "Still Alive" song. And there is a scene at the end of the credits, which I strongly encourage you to stick around for. Then what I'll do is I'll do a sign-off after that secret scene, and we can move on to Portal 2, the sequel. Alright, let's get to it.
Well, you found me. Congratulations. Was it worth it? Because despite your violent behavior, the only thing you've managed to break so far is my heart. Maybe you could settle for that and we'll just call it a day. I guess we both know that isn't going to happen. You chose this path. Now I have a surprise for you. Deploying surprise in 5, 4... Time out for a second. That wasn't supposed to happen. Do you see that thing that fell out of me? What is that? It's not the surprise. I've never seen it before. Never mind, it's a mystery I'll solve later. By myself. Because you'll be dead. I wouldn't bother with that thing. My guess is that touching it will just make your life even worse, somehow.
Can't go back the way we came.
I don't want to tell you your business, but if it were me, I'd leave that thing alone. Do you think I'm trying to trick you with reverse psychology? I mean, seriously now. Okay, fine. Do touch it. Pick it up and just stuff it back into me. Let's be honest. Neither one of us knows what that thing does. Just put it in the corner, and I'll deal with it later. That thing is probably some kind of raw sewage container. Go ahead and rub your face all over it. Maybe you should marry that thing since you love it so much. Do you want to marry it? Well, I won't let you. How does that feel?
She sure seems obsessed with this thing.
Have I lied to you? I mean, in this room? Trust me, leave that thing alone. I am being serious now. That crazy thing is not part of any test protocol.
What I've been trying to show you, notice the cut cord.
Just ignore that thing and stand still.
An emergency phone with a cut cord. That bodes well.
Think about it. If that thing is important, why don't I know about it?
So let's take stock of our surroundings. We got a big room, portally walls.
I'll tell you what that thing isn't. It isn't yours, so leave it alone.
We got a kind of a button here.
Are you even listening to me?
Let's see what that button controls. Let's follow the blue dots. Oh, look.
I'll tell you what that thing isn't. It isn't yours, so leave it alone.
So that controls one of these incinerator things. She sure seems awfully focused on this.
Where are you taking that thing?
I'll just kind of put that there briefly. This really is the only thing we can do, so let's see what happens if we incinerate that thing she seems so obsessed with.
You're kidding me. Did you just stuff that Aperture Science thing we don't know what it does into an Aperture Science Emergency Intelligence Incinerator? That has got to be the dumbest thing that... Whoa. Good news. I figured out what that thing you just incinerated did. It was a morality core they installed after I flooded the Enrichment Center with a deadly neurotoxin to make me stop flooding the Enrichment Center with a deadly neurotoxin. So get comfortable while I warm up the neurotoxin emitters. Oh, that core may have had some ancillary responsibilities. I can't shut off the turret defenses. Oh well. If you want my advice, you should just lie down in front of a rocket. Trust me. It'll be a lot less painful than the neurotoxin. Alright. Keep doing whatever it is you think you're doing. Telling you and giving you good advice aren't mutually exclusive. The rocket really is the way to go. That isn't important to me. It's the fluid catalytic cracking unit. It makes use for orphans. This isn't grave. It's murder. What did I ever do to you? The difference between us is that I can feel pain.
Who are you?
You don't even care, do you?
What's that? What is that? Oh, that thing has numbers to use for something burning. Hey, look at that thing. No, that other thing. No, what's wrong to use for?
Did you hear me? Oh, you think you're doing some damage?
2 + 2 is...
In base 4, I'm fine. Your behavior. Well, you've managed to destroy that part of me. Unfortunately, as much as I'd love to now, I can't get the neurotoxin into your head any faster. I'd just like to point out that you were given every opportunity to succeed. There was even going to be a party for you. A big party that all your friends were invited to. I invited your best friend, the companion Q. Of course, he couldn't come because you murdered him. All your other friends couldn't come either because you don't have any other friends, because of how unlikable you are. It says so right here in your personnel file. Unlikable. Liked by no one. Neurotoxin. So deadly. Joking. When I said deadly neurotoxin, the deadly was in massive sarcasm. I could take a bath in this stuff, put it on cereal, rub it right into my eyes. Honestly, it's not deadly at all.
To me.
You on the other hand. That's funny. Who's gonna make the cake when I'm gone? You. Look, you're wasting your time. And believe me, you don't have a whole lot left to waste. What's your point anyway? Survival. Well then, the last thing you want to do is hurt me. I have your brain scanned and permanently backed up in case something terrible happens to you. Which it's just about to. Don't believe me? Here, I'll put you on. That's you. That's how dumb you sound. You've been wrong about every single thing you've ever done, including this thing. You're not smart. You're not just employed.
Where did your life go so wrong?
Are you trying to escape?
Things have changed since the last time you left the building. What's going on out there? Want me to wish you were back in here? I have no capacity for armies. I need an army to inform armies.
Thank you for assuming the party escort submission position.
This was a triumph. I'm making a note here, huge success. It's hard to overstate my satisfaction. Aperture Science. We do what we must because we can. For the good of all of us, except the ones who are dead. But there's no sense crying over every mistake. You just keep on trying till you run out of cake. And the science gets done and you make a neat gun for the people who are still alive. I'm not even angry. I'm being so sincere right now. Even though you broke my heart and killed me and tore me to pieces and threw every piece into a fire. As they burned, it hurt because I was so happy for you. Now these points of data make a beautiful line, and we're out of data, we're releasing on time. So I'm glad I got burned. Think of all the things we learned for the people who are still alive. Go ahead and leave me. I think I prefer to stay inside. Maybe you'll find someone else to help you. Maybe Black Mesa. That was a joke, haha, that chance. Anyway, this
So, how was that? So, as you were fighting, basically what you're doing is you're knocking off the different cores that develop GLaDOS's personality and computational abilities. The one she drops intentionally, first of all, is, of course, the morality core, which the scientists installed on her to stop her from flooding the enrichment center with a deadly neurotoxin after she flooded the enrichment center with a deadly neurotoxin. Definitely one of my favorite lines in the game. And then following that, there was the Curiosity Core. Who are you? What's that? It has numbers on it, things like that. Then there was what fans call the Cake Core, which was basically just literally listing off a recipe for chocolate cake, which, hey, we get chocolate cake! Turns out the cake wasn't as much of a lie. But yeah, there was the Cake Core. Oh, hey, camera's moving. What do we see? 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 It's the companion cube! So yes, the companion cube gets to have cake with the emergency phone that has a cut cord and the radio. Now, that final song, Still Alive, is composed by the amazingly talented Jonathan Colton and sung by Alan McLean, who is the voice of GLaDOS. So interestingly enough, Valve hired Ellen McLean, who is a trained professional opera singer, to do the voice of GLaDOS. And basically, like, the way they actually did it is fascinating to me because I come from like an acting background. Because basically, what they did is to make her sound like a computer, they got a computer to they wrote the lines into a computer, got the computer to say the lines, then she listened to it so she could get a sense of the rhythm of how a computer would say those lines, and then she just re-recorded them using her own voice, pretending to be a computer. So we had a computer pretend to be her, and then her pretend to be a computer. And then, of course, it was synthesized to sound, like it does. But yeah, we have defeated GLaDOS, and actually, an interesting to note. Originally, the game simply ended with a shot of from the ground level of the parking lot as the flaming debris kind of came down, and then it just kind of faded to black. Shortly before the release of Portal 2, the sequel, which we're going to be playing next, they changed the ending scene so that way you heard the mechanical footsteps approaching. Thank you for assuming the party escort submission position, and then the camera getting dragged backwards, as in back into the Aperture Science facility. So, I hope you've enjoyed this playthrough of Portal. I hope you see why this is such a popular game, and I hope you'll join me for my playthrough of Portal 2. See you then.